Yo, in this video, I will be showing you all of my BattleBit settings and loadouts. These settings should allow almost any computer to play this game with a decent FPS. First is the resolution. I run 1920 by 1080 on a 16 by 9 scale. For the screen mode, I like to use exclusive full screen because, from my past FPS experience, full screen is always the best for FPS. For screen scale, it is up to your preference, but I like to run 125 scale. Make sure to turn off vertical synchronization because this can actually increase input delay during the fights. The maximum FPS settings depend on your monitor's refresh rate. I like to run mine at 250. For brightness, it's all personal preference, but I like to keep mine at default. Now for the camera portion, the field of view I use for vehicles and infantry is 103 because of my past experience with Overwatch. Please, I want to emphasize that you should keep the screen shake at 0 since it can affect your aim if you do not have this turned off. And for what you've all been waiting for, the graphics settings, I have a pretty decent computer with a 3060 GPU, but I still like to play on the lowest of all settings. Make sure that the shadows are not enabled and that you turn off anti-aliasing. Even though it's a block game, it can still affect your FPS if you have these settings on. For my renders, I have destruction quality at low, LOD quality at 400, the number of lights at 4, rain quality at low, render distance at a maximum of 4000, and the shader quality at the lowest. Image effects. I like to keep the brightness and coloring on, and I turn everything else off with contrast intensity at max. Now for my control settings. For gameplay, I like to keep directional climbing on, and I use toggle lean even though it's up to preference. I think that not having the toggle lean on is what you should do if you want a more aggressive playstyle. I have toggled aim off since it can slow down your gameplay if you have this on. Toggle dragging players on, toggle sprint off, reload style on default, and reload tap delay on default. For mouse sensitivity, I play at 800 DPI with a 55 sensitivity in the game, and for my aim down sight, I have 75. I left the scope sensitivities on default because changing all of these can actually mess up your muscle memory. For my keybindings, I have default settings for the majority of them. However, I do highly emphasize having a secondary keybind for jump, since it can be very helpful in making sure that you don't get stuck in the vault animation in some scenarios. I bound my jump to the scroll wheel. However, you can use whatever you want. I'll just quickly scroll through my other keybinds if you want to copy them. Pause the video if you need to do so. However, like I said, most of these are default keybinds. Now for gameplay settings, I have the dot crosshair off because I use crosshair X, which is similar to HUD sight, and allows for custom crosshairs that you see some of the ethereal players use. For my hit marker colors and user interface colors, I will just scroll through and hover over each color so you guys can copy them if you'd like. My most important change would most likely be changing the flag size to 50 and making both opacities at 5. I did this because in some scenarios, the objectives can actually make it hard to see enemy players. These settings will, however, make it hard for squad leaders to assign attack targets, so use them if you'd like. For audio settings, there's really not much to change, but you can copy it if you want to. Now for my loadouts, for my character I like to run the hoodie drip. However, it's your preference whether you want to run a helmet or not. For chest armor, you can either run ranger armor for the extra magazines, or you can run heavy armor for a little bit more survivability and one extra throwable, but you will be slightly slower. The rest is a matter of preference. And now for my attachments for the guns I use. If you liked the video, leave a like, and please consider subscribing for more BattleBit content. Also, check out my other BattleBit videos for some top-tier aggressive gameplay. Thank you for watching.